way you moving got me in a trance. DJ turn me up, ladies get so jam.
What is up, guys? Welcome to my new video. I just want to thank every single one of you guys for viewing my latest, or for viewing and watching my story, for subscribing to my channel, and also for, just supporting me throughout my journey. For those of you that have been following me on Instagram for years and now have switched over to my YouTube, I just want to say thank you so much. Seriously, I've always been wanting to do YouTube, and finally I feel like it's a reality for me and I'm able to do it. And it's still new for me, so it's still new for me, so it's like hard for me to still do this whole talking to the camera thing, but I'm getting used to it a little bit more as I do these videos. So today I actually just wanted to talk to you guys about my story, how I got into fitness, and a little bit of background, just to kind of fill you guys in of who I am and where I've been, what I've done, and yeah. So I'll start off. Growing up, I never grew up in a very healthy household. First of all, I grew up with my parents, never feeding me breakfast, really. Sometimes I ate breakfast, sometimes I didn't before school, and then I would just kind of eat the school lunches, and then after school, if I wanted something to eat, my mom would probably go get me something to eat. Oh, and every single year on my first day of school, I always got McDonald's breakfast too. So that was like our thing, like McDonald's breakfast on the first day of school. And that was like something I always looked forward to. But anyway, so growing up, I always, had that. And then my mom was so big on dinner. So dinner was kind of like the meal. Like I always had to be home for dinner. And during dinner time was when I kind of, almost every single day, would always eat until I just sat there full, and then you know what I'm talking about, like Thanksgiving, but like Thanksgiving every single day for dinner. That feeling. So that was kind of like something I grew up with. And then I never had restrictions. Like I never was like, oh, you need to eat your dinner if you want, dessert or something. It was like I had mac and cheese every single day. Seriously, I could eat mac and cheese, the Kraft box mac and cheese, every single day. That was my favorite. And hot dogs. So I don't know if you've ever had mac and cheese and hot dogs. Don't do it. It's seriously so addicting. But anyways, so I kind of grew up doing that. And then in 7th grade was when I really started to kind of notice, the female body. And I noticed that a lot of the skinny, like the skinny girls with like thin legs, they were always the ones that, got the attention or were popular. And I felt really down. And honestly, for a while, I would say for probably like months, I would wear sweats. Like literally people knew me as like the girl who wore sweats, just because I don't know, they were comfortable and I didn't really feel comfortable in my body. So I wore sweats every single day. And then, high school came around and I always kind of wanted to just be popular. And my freshman year, I kind of started, I'm not gonna lie, I was a crazy kid freshman year. Like I, would smoke weed every single day, and, me and my best friend, we were stoners, and everyone kind of knew that. We were just smoking weed with all these people, and like, honestly, that's good. That's like probably the main reason why people in my hometown like really know who I am, because I was always like going around with my friend just smoking weed with people. So that was just kind of like my freshman year. Sophomore year came around and I was actually a part of the cheer team, and I had a boyfriend too. So it was my like first like real boyfriend, and I was on the cheer team, and like I was a sophomore and he was a senior on like the football team, and I was just like, it was like a good time in my life. But at the same time, I was like overweight. Actually, the summer of freshman going into sophomore year, me and my best friend, we would ride our bikes around for hours every single day. So because of that, I did actually like lose a little bit of weight in my legs, because that's where I hold my weight. But it wasn't, it wasn't good enough for me. It was like, yes, like I feel small, but you know, everybody wants to be better, right? So anyways, that kind of happened to me, and then cheer ended, and I kind of just like was in the relationship, and I got really happy. And not only did I gain weight, but he did too. So I know that for me personally, like I think my highest weight I ever got to was 160 at 5'4". I'm 5'5" now, so I've grown an inch. But I was 5'4", and I got up to 160 pounds. And I know that really doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're not gaining muscle weight and you're getting fat weight, it's a big difference. That was kind of like my dilemma. I got up to 160 pounds. You know, I was confident in myself, even though I had this boyfriend, and you know, I just never had that real confidence. So anyways, summer going from sophomore to junior year, you know, me and my boyfriend were still together, and up until I think a week before my junior year, we broke up. And it was my first breakup. I was super depressed, and this is where my life changed completely. So I went camping for 5 days, and I went camping regularly with my parents growing up and everything, but so this time I went camping. I was like depressed because me and my boyfriend had just broke up. I was like in a bathing suit for 5 days, and I was just like just not feeling it. Like I need to lose weight, like I need to do something. So on the 5th day, the day that we were leaving, I go up to my mom and I say, Mom, I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna start going to the gym and I'm gonna lose weight. And she was like, okay. And it was either that Monday or Tuesday, I started going back to the gym. I started going to the gym, and I just went to the gym, and I kept going, right? And I kept going. Honestly, I did the same thing every single day for 3 months. I remember it was always abs, but legs. But it wasn't like legs, like hamstrings, like quads. No, it was like leg press, and then messing around with some lunges. And I would literally do the same like thing every single day I went to the gym. At the same time, like I said, it was my first breakup, so I was kind of depressed. At this point, I realized that I was a person that when I get depressed, I don't eat. Like I think some days I would literally eat a Go-Gurt the whole day. So because of this, I didn't lose weight in the most healthy way, but I did lose weight. And I kept going to the gym though. Was like, okay, I need, you know, what's next? Like, so I started looking up the health benefits, and once I did that, I was hooked. The only reason the only reason why I was hooked at this point was because my dad has very, very bad health issues. He's had a heart valve transplant. He has diabetes, and not the diabetes you're born with, just because your diet sucks and you're not exercising. So I was exercising, you know. But heart disease and bad hearts actually run in my family. So having that knowledge and then researching some things about like the health benefits of, you know, training and working out, I just completely got hooked. So I kept going, right? That was what got me. I remember every single day I couldn't go anywhere without someone saying, oh my God, Amanda, you look so good. Oh my God, Amanda, like, how did you do it? Oh my God, Amanda, how did you do it? Oh my God, Amanda, like, I heard this literally at least 50 times a day. Like, it wasn't a bad thing though. It was actually what kept me going, because I was like, you know, I am feeling good, huh? Like I am, you know, I feel good about myself. Like I'm finally losing weight, like. And you know, the funny thing was I never stepped on the scale. So I knew like my average weight was always like 152 to 155. And I remember I stepped on the scale for the first time and I was 143. And at this point, I was like, I really weigh 143? Like I never had weighed 143. Like 150 and up was always like my range. So here I am, you know, now I'm like known as like this gym fitness freak, right? Or this gym girl, you know, and you know, it's not like a bad title. Senior year, it was like about in January of senior year, I met another guy who we started dating, and he went to another school, but he was also into fitness, like tough, like I was at this point. So I started going to a different gym, and honestly, like after going to this gym and working out with him, like this is kind of another turning point where I just kept learning more about training, more about weights, you know. I remember I started going to this new gym, and I think my goal at this point was to squat 45. Here I am just working hard, and then probably for about a month and a half, and then finally I was like, all right, I think I could do it. So I throw on the 45s, and I think I probably hit like 3 or 4. But it was just the fact that I was able to do it that was just so exciting. By the end of my senior year, I had been voted in my yearbook best transformation. Like, that's probably the best one to get. Like, that's just something to be so proud of. At this point, I had probably lost 20 pounds, and everybody knew me as like, Amanda, she goes to the gym, she just works out all the time, like all she cares about is working out. Like, so after senior year, I remember it was about 10 months after I graduated. I was at the gym, and I knew that this girl that I had gone to school with, who was a grade younger than me, had started competing. And she was at my gym one day, and I'm like looking at her like, wow, she is so tiny. And mind you, I had probably been in the gym now for about 3 years. And I'm like, wow, she's like super tiny. Like, how is she competing? And she just like, she's so small. Like, she can compete, like I could compete, like I could compete too. So anyways, I was working at the other gym. I was working at CalFit at the time, and I remember walking and I saw this older woman, and she was a mom of one of the kids of the daycare that I was working at, because I worked at the daycare in this gym. And I was going to the bathroom, and I remember looking at her like, dang, she looks so good. Like, she probably competes. So so she came and picked up her daughter, and I just had a full like 20-minute conversation with her about competing. So the following week, she was like, hey, my coach, he said he's not going to be taking any more clients, but he actually just told me that he's willing to take on a couple more people. So I have these guys that are going to go to him, and I referred him to you too. So I gave him your number. I get a call from him, and I go and meet with him, I think the next day. Yeah, so it was like literally like bam, 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 bam. Like, it just happened so quick. And not only that, at the time of when I did start my first prep with him, I was going through a lot with my dad personally. That'll be for another time, but pretty much I wasn't living at my house. And so I was living at my boyfriend, the same boyfriend from the senior year. So I was living at his house, and I went and met with this coach, and he was kind of just telling me, all these things about like my weight and what I need to be at, and he put me through like a small workout, and I gave him like my diet, which was shitty. I met with him, I think 2 weeks later for a second check-in, and I had lost 5 pounds. Yeah, so it was 137, checked in at 132, and I had lost 2% body fat. And he goes, that's not good enough, like, we're gonna up your cardio. So mind you, I was also on a completely bro diet, which is something I wasn't used to. So I was, doing the egg whites and oatmeal, and then chicken and rice, and protein shake, and this, and I want you to eat I want you to train after your second meal. And I was like, okay, so I was like sticking to the plan tough, but I remember I was so beat and I was so tired, and I remember like I even threw a fit in the gym one day. I was so depleted and just so low on calories, and I had never been that way before. So I meet with him 2 weeks later, and I was, down the 5 pounds, down the 2%, but he's like, that's not good enough. So then he puts me on he ups my cardio and lowers my calories a little bit. And I'm like, okay. So I followed through with that, and then he was like, don't be a stranger, text me about this weekend. So I texted him, no reply. So I go that whole week, the whole next week, and he didn't text back, and I'm like, okay, I need to do something, I need to do it now. So then I had my coach that I had for my longest time. She was actually liking, my pictures on social media. I'd email her directly and was like, hey, look, I need help. I think I put that as a caption, I need help. And so she emailed me back. So I think that was on a Friday. I met with her Monday. Bam, was already on the team. I was already on the prep, so she kind of just changed from going bro diet to flexible dieting. So ever since then, I've been flexible dieting, which has now been about 2 years. So ever since then, I've literally been doing flexible dieting. So I was on a prep when I did start my flexible dieting. And I think it was about 13 weeks out or whatever the case was. So I did my whole prep. But when I started doing flexible dieting, that very first day she gave me macros, I started binging. I started binging eating. So I did have a binge eating problem. And I would say I was binge eating 1 to 2 times a week my whole prep going into my first show. I was binge eating, and then I would make myself throw up. And this was something that I didn't know what was going on. You know, when you have an eating disorder, you just don't know what to do about it. You don't know what to do. You don't know what's going on. You don't know why you're doing it. And it's kind of a scary thing. So anyways, I followed through with my whole prep, did my cardio, did my training, did my, everything I needed to do. And then I did my show, and I got first in teens and like second call out in open. So at 19 years old, I would say that's not that bad, but at the same time I was, kind of doing the whole prep wrong, but it was my fault. I didn't know what to do. So anyways, after my show, I, obviously I was still binging, and actually it became worse. So I started doing it 2, even 3 times a week at this point. December comes around, I'm still binge eating, trying to stop. I start doing intuitive eating for a little bit, and that worked, but I still was like binge eating at night. So I would like eat really well, and then at nighttime my binge would just take control. Sweets, anything sweets, ice cream, oh my gosh, ice cream, cookies, bread, anything that I could get a hold of, I got a hold of, and I ate it. In January 15th to be exact, I met a new guy. Actually, he saw me at the show, and he then found me on Instagram, and he DM'd me, and then we met on January 15th. And ever since then, we were kind of just like hooked. Obviously he competed too. He was like, oh yeah, no, I just keep my food super simple. Like I just eat like tilapia, chicken, and I was like, maybe instead of doing like flexible dieting, like I just wanted to be that flexible dieter that was like super cool, could do anything. Like I just started keeping my meals more simple. So I just started making my food super simple, like just chicken, just rice, just potatoes, And I went like 2 or 3 weeks, and I was like, I haven't binged. Holy crap, no, wow, like I have not binged at all. Wow. So like honestly, that's how I stopped binging. We went through a whole bunch of stuff, which I could probably tell you. I mean, I seriously have been through so much, guys. Like I'm gonna need like 5 or 6 YouTube videos to tell you guys my whole story. There's a lot of shit. I think it was July of 2016 I started my next prep for the same show that I had done the previous year. Not like I was in a good standpoint or anything, but I wasn't living at my house again at the time. I had a lot of like home issues growing up. It was like, yes, I've got a kitchen now. Like, I'm gonna start prepping. I'm gonna start prepping now. So I just started prepping food, and even though like I wasn't in any place to like start a prep, I just was like, I'm so focused on doing the show, I'm gonna do it again. So I did it again. I prepped, so I started, I think it was 14 weeks out, I remember, so I was like 14 weeks out, like let's do this, right? So started my prep, and 2 weeks after that, the woman's house that I was living at, she was like, you can't live here anymore. So I was like, shit. So I had to go back to my parents' house, which they let me come back. And then I think maybe 3 weeks after that, I moved into a roommate situation. I moved into a horrible roommate situation, and I was still on prep. My boyfriend had stayed with me through the whole time, during this whole horrible roommate situation. I mean, seriously, I thought these girls were gonna like try to like kick my ass if they didn't, even though I know they wouldn't have been able to, but regardless, they would try to like gang up on me, right? So We went through our whole prep with this horrible, like, negative energy. And not only that, 6 weeks out from the show, I had dropped my coach, the same coach that I did my first prep with. I just stopped checking in with her 6 weeks out and started doing my own thing. So I started doing keto because, you know, the less carbs, more cardio wasn't working for me at the time. So I just was like, I'm gonna do keto and I'm gonna just do it myself. I didn't place in my open. And after that, I just realized that I was in such a horrible place to be competing or on a prep. I didn't even know why I was doing it. After the show, I realized, why did I just do a prep? I was in no position to do a prep. So that same month, I got a 30-day notice from my roommates, and not even 2 weeks after that was when I moved out and got my own place. Where am I now? That's just a little bit of background of things of my fitness story. Now, when it comes to my life outside of fitness, you guys are in for a serious, crazy stories. Because I got so many. Like, seriously, on Instagram, I am like, I'm always me, but I'm crazy. I'm like, I was a little wild child, like, not gonna lie. Wild child, and spontaneous, and fun, and, you know, out there. So, like, I just have so many stories for you guys, but regardless, that's a little bit of background of my fitness story. Thank you guys for watching. I know it was a long video, but I just felt like I needed to hit, like, points, you know. There's so many things that I went through in my fitness journey that led me to where I'm at today. Ever since my prep, I just kind of was like, I need to start doing my own thing. Now I've just been figuring things out by myself, you know, no coach, and I feel like I've been pretty successful so far. So I want to thank you guys for watching and listening, and stay tuned for more crazy stories, because now that I've told this one, I know that I have so many other stories to tell you guys. And you guys will learn more as, like, you start watching my videos. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Like and subscribe.